Ram Krishna Hari. The Abhang that is going to be presented on the Veena today is a popular composition of none other than our own Mauli Dnyaneshwar Maharaj. The opening lines of this Abhang are Panduranga Kanti Divya Teja Zhadakati, but popularly people know this Abhang as Kanada O Vitthalu Karanatak. This Abhang cannot be just played on an instrument and forgotten about, or you cannot just appreciate the melody. The total justice can be done only when you get into the profound meaning of each and every line that Mauli wants to tell us. This Abhang, I consider personally, is a route map to spiritual seekers. How does one know that there is a spiritual awakening in oneself? He tells us the various stages. And in that he tells us how he has transcended from the Saguna, that is the form, to Nirguna, that is formless path of devotion. The opening lines, I'm going to read out all the lines because it's very important for us to know what Mauli intends to tell us. The opening lines are Panduranga Kanti Divya Teja Zhadakati Ratnakira Bhakati Prabha. So he says, O Pandurang, you are dark complexion, but the rays which come out from you, the radiance that you have, the luminosity of your form is so beautiful. It's like the rays which are coming from a precious gemstone. He further goes on in the next line to tell us, Aganita Lavanya Teza Punzarale Na Varnave Tethechi Shobha. He says infinite light rays are coming out. Now if you have a small bulb put in front of you and you're asked to look at it constantly, you get blinded within a second. But here he says the Pandurang Murti is having so much of luminosity, light rays coming, blossoming out of the idol of Pandurang are so infinite in number. Says I can't count and I cannot even describe. It's indescribable. He says na varnave, I cannot describe that. This is possibly the state where Mauli is meditating on the form of Pandurang. That is when he looks at Vitthalu. Maybe this is the first impression he gets. Now let's see how he transcends this form that he's talking about. He says this form of Pandurang is given out so many rays. Now what Pandurang is this? He says which Pandurang he describes. He says Kanada ho Vitthalu Karnataku Tene maza lavila vedha. He says, O Pandurang, O Vitthala, you have made me so much involved in you that I'm obsessed with you. I'm only thinking about you. My love for you is intense. This bhakti, this love is what Mauli has towards Pandurang. And he says, Kanada ho Vitthalu, Karnataku. Generally, people interpret this as Kanada ho Vitthalu, Karnataku, this line, as the Murti of Pandurang at Pandharpur has been brought from Karnataka. They say it was in the Hampi. There's a Vitthal temple there even now at Hampi. We won't go into the historical details because that's not what Mauli intended, that we have geographical divisions. But he says this Murti, this Pandurang, Kanada ho Vitthalu, Karnataku. Knowing Mauli and his composition, he is not going to be telling us about some geographical description or about a language. So, my personal interpretation of this line is, I break up the words Kanada as Ka-nada, means why are you obstructing me? He's telling Pandurang, why don't you give me your darshan? Why don't you make me one with you? Ka-nada ho Vitthalu. So, O Vitthala, why are you challenging me? Why are you obstructing my path? Why are you not allowing me to come near you or into you? Karnataku. Now here, break up this word not as Karnataka, it is Karnataku. That means stop dramatizing. Stop doing this drama as if you're trying to play hide and seek with me. As he goes on in the further lines also to say that Vitthalu is playing hide and seek with him. You're trying to seek him, but he's not being able to be sought. This secret also Mauli tells us towards the end of the Abhang. So here my personal interpretation of this line is, why are you obstructing my darshan of yours in me? That means when you and I become one. He says, oh Vitthala, stop dramatizing, stop being so doing this drama of playing hide and seek. You know very well that I'm obsessed with you and I would like to have your darshan. This is what he means. Kanada hu Vitthalu, Karnataku, tene mazalaviyala vedu. Now he explains why he feels that Vitthala is playing hide and seek with him. Coming to the next line, he says, Khoda bundhi gheuni khunachi palavi, aravilya nedu sadhu. Now what he means here is, Vitthal is giving me a signal, he is giving me a sign that here I am, I'm here. But he's covered himself. Khoda bundhi means to cover oneself. Like you have a coat or a cloak with a hood on it and you cover yourself. So he says, you are giving me the signal that you are here, but you have covered yourself. So I'm not able to find out where you are. So I'm calling out to you. I'm searching for you. Aravilya means to intensely or soulfully call out to the Lord. So Aravile Nedi Sadhu. So I'm calling out to you, but still I'm not able to see you. So here again he comes back to his signature line, Kanada ho Vitthalu, Karnataku, tene madhalavilya ve. What he means is, stop playing this hide and seek with me. You're giving me, it's like when you play hide and seek, children generally know this. When you play hide and seek, you are hiding and someone's trying to seek you out. You try to give some signal by dropping something or giving a whistle or a shout and then run away from there. This is exactly what is the game played between Vitthal and Mauli. Mauli further goes on to say a very beautiful experience. Now see his next level of enlightenment. Shabde vina samvadu, duze vina anuvadu, he tava kaise ni game. What he wants to tell us is, when you are walking on the path towards divinity, towards Pandurang. Pandurang is his form of divinity which he has kept. So that's the goal that he has to attain. So he says, I am searching for him. He is giving me a signal. We have a conversation. Shabde bina samvadu. Samvad means conversation. But how is this conversation? He says, it has got no words. Now, it's difficult to imagine that you're conversing with someone without words. But Mauli tells us further on that this is what I call as my oneness with him. See, even in our dreams, we seem to have a conversation. But if you find a little more, if you go into the deeper aspect of your dreams, we don't actually converse with anyone. But still there is some conversation happening. There is no word exchange there. So here, exactly the same way Mauli is trying to tell us, he is telling us the route towards divinity. And so he says, Shabde vina samvadu. I'm talking to him, but there are no words coming out from my mouth. This shows that there is nobody other than me and him. Duze vina anuvadu. There is nobody other than me and him. There is no third person. Only the two of us are there. And so we have a conversation, which is a silent conversation, which has no words exchanged. And he says, hey, tava kaise ni game. He says, isn't this a miracle? It's a miracle, he says. How is it possible that you can, it's so paradoxical that you're talking to somebody but you're not having any words emitted from your mouth. He goes on to tell us the same sentiment in the next line. Parehi paratare bolane khuntale vaikhari kaise ni sange. Now here he talks about parehi parate. Now if you know, there are, the Vedas say that there are 4 forms of speech. Vaikhari is that which comes verbally out of our mouth. Like at the moment I'm talking to you and it's audible to you. So what one speaks and other hears, that is Vaikhari. The second form is Madhyama. Madhyama is where you have a mental speech, you're talking to yourself, but the words are not coming out of your mouth, they're not audible to anyone, but the speech is going on within you and your tongue is moving. This can be understood better when I give an example of a mantra or a jap that you are doing, which is done silently in you. Some people have the habit of only moving their lips while doing this japa. So that can be considered to be like the madhyama. Pashyanti is where, again, this is a mental speech, but here neither does the tongue move nor does the word come out of your mouth, but there is an internal conversation which is going on within your self-talk, as you call it. That is pashyanti. The last one is para. Para is pure intuition. It has no attributes of thought, idea, action, work, nothing. It does not even come out of your system. I'm not talking about the verbal system. It's not even come out into your head. It's not even in your mind. It's not in your brain. But still it is there. It's a very difficult thing. So Mauli says, when even that could not explain, how can my verbal speech explain to you what I'm experiencing? So he says, Parehi parate bolane khuntale. My speech, that is the para type of speech, has been completely muted. So how do you expect my verbal speech to come out and tell you what I'm experiencing? That is his experience. And as I said, one who experiences this will be able to understand Mauli's state. Again he says, Kanada ho Vitthalu, Karnataku, teni maze lavela bedu. So as I said, every stage he keeps telling Pandurang that you're playing hide and seek with me. You're making me go through all these miraculous things. Now coming to the next line, he says, Paya padu gele, tava paulachi na dise, ubhaji swayambhu ase. When you see your Ishta Devata, imagine that he stands in front of you. What's the first thing that you'll do? You'll prostrate in front of him. That's what Mauli says. Now I'm nearing the darshan of Pandurang. But where is this darshan? Not in the form. It is in him, so formless. So he says, as I'm nearing it, I go to touch his feet, but I don't see his feet at all. Paya padu gele, I went to touch his feet, but I couldn't see his feet. Ubhachi swayambhu ase, from where he originated, that means he seems to have come from somewhere. Now for having some form, there has to be a base. And in the human, the base are the feet. But he says, I can't see your feet, but still your form is there. So you are swayambhu, you're self-evolved. You don't seem to have any, you're not rooted to anything, you're not fixed anywhere. You seem to be everywhere. That's what Mauli is trying to tell us. As I said, each and every word has got 1,000 meanings. And it is up to us how we use our logic, our brain to understand what Mauli wants to tell us. But one thing is for sure, he tells us to walk the path of devotion to attain divinity. So let's not spend too much of time on logical reasonings, but let's understand what Mauli wants to tell us, because only then we'll be able to follow the path. We'll be able to walk on the path that the saint has shown us. The next line he goes further to say, Samora ki pathi mura na kare, thakachi padile kaise. He says, I'm shocked, I'm puzzled, I'm amazed. Thakachi means I'm surprised. He says, Samora ki pathi mura. First of all, I can't see your feet, but I know that you are there. I try to see whether are you in front of me. Samora means in front, or pathimora, behind me. I can't see you in front, I can't see you behind, I can't see your feet. But I seem to be encompassed by you. I'm surrounded by you. Now this is the feeling one gets when one gets enlightened, is what Mauli says. These are signs he is giving all us spiritual seekers, the signs of spiritual awakening in us. So it will not happen, it may happen in a fraction of a second. It may take lifetimes for this awakening to happen, but he has given us a sure short map for this. Coming to the next line. Now, another thing that we normally do when we meet someone whom we love, we go and embrace that person. So in the next line, Mauli says, Shema lagi jiva utavira mazha. Shema means to embrace. So utaviz means eager. So he says, I'm so eager to embrace you, O Panduranga, O Lord. Manuni sfuratati baho. I'm spreading my arms wide open so that I can embrace you. I can be one with you. And he further goes on to say something very beautiful. He says, Shema Devu Gele Tava Michi Mi Ekale. When I went to embrace you, when I wanted to hold you close to me, I realized that I was all alone. So where are you? But I know I can feel your presence. I can't see where you are. I know you're encompass me. I'm trying to embrace you, but I realize that I'm all alone. What does this signify? That Mauli and Vithoba have become one. This is the ultimate level of realization. Mauli has explained that experience for all of us, and it's for us to follow that path. So he says, Shema Devu Gele Tava Michi Mi Ekale. I found myself to be alone because you have come into me. You and I have become one. Asavala Jiva Raho. I'm craving for you, O Panduranga. And then he realizes that he has ultimately become one with the divine. He has realized his self-realization, the goal of his self-realization, his mission is now complete. If you have noticed in the Haripat Abhangs, Mauli has either used a signature at the end of each of the Abhangs, the 28 Abhangs that we have in our videos also. Everywhere he has either used Jnanadeva Mhane or Nivruttinath Maharaj, that is his guru, his elder brother. He has used his name as a signature at the end to show that he is offering his obeisance at his guru's feet. But coming to this particular Abhang, and possibly from here many more Abhangs, as he has explained his self-realization, he has fulfilled the dream of his guru to have realized Vitthal or Pandurang. This Abhang onwards, and many Abhangs which were composed maybe from here, a few Abhangs of the similar line, have the signature as Bapa Rakhuma Devi Varu Hridayitsa Zanuni. Bapa Rakhuma Devi is the signature he uses. He doesn't use his own name now, Jnanadeva Mhane. He never uses it because he realizes he is ultimately in unison with Vitthal. Vitthal is addressed here as Bapa Rakhuma Devi. So he says, Rukmini and Vitthal are my universal parents. Bapa Rakhuma Devi. And so you'll find most of his Abhangs which have the signature as Bapa Rakhuma Devi. You should understand that these are Abhangs which he has composed after self-realization. And those Abhangs are for us to walk the path. So he says, Anubhavu Saurasu Kela, you made my experience such a beautiful thing that I would like to share it with all of you. So as I said, Mauli in this Abhang, it's a special Abhang because it talks about his self-realization, his enlightenment, his becoming one with Vitthal and realizing that there is no form, it's a formless devotion which is supreme. Through this Abhang, we come to know that Saguna to Nirguna, the travel from the form to the formless, the journey that we have, or the soul has a journey from the form to the formless, may take place in a second, and or as I said, it may take lifetimes. But what is needed here is a evolved guru, and who else other than Mauli can guide us on this path. A small service at the feet of Mauli on the occasion of his 726th Sanjeevan Samadhi Sola is this composition, which is musically done by Pandit Hridayanath Mangeshkar and sung by the versatile Smt.Asha Bhosale. I have tried to play the melody on the instrument Saraswati Veena. Just like a singer puts her words or puts his words in the song, the lyrics are important there. Melody is equally important. So I have tried to put the melody as a Nirgun form and the song words, the composition of the Abhang words as the Saguna form. So I am putting a small baby step on this path which Mauli has shown to go to transcend from the form, that is the word of the Abhang, to the Nirgun form, that is the melody on my instrument. This is my service at the feet of Mauli. I hope all of you go through the Abhang more in detail, either through various material that you get on the search engines that you have, or maybe through various books or Marathi literature. I would only request you to please go through each and every word of Mauli's Abhang. If you are a spiritual seeker, don't just sing a song or don't just sing a Abhang of any saint for the sake of it. Get into the depth of it. Try to understand. They have left us a treasure of words, and if you don't follow those words, or you don't follow the meaning or the path that they show us, we will not be doing full justice to whatever they have done for mankind. Ram Krishna Hari.